Einen schönen guten Tag hier im Airtours Podcast 2025. Wir schreiben den 15. Januar und ich habe heute die große Ehre, mit Doris Goh zu sprechen, der Vicepräsidentin der Como Group, der Como Hotels und Resorts, und sie ist verantwortlich als Vicepräsidentin Commercial für all die Sales- und Marketing-Aktivitäten, für die Weiterentwicklung der Marke und überhaupt für die gesamten Markenwerte. Ja, und da wir mit Singapur heute live sprechen, gehe ich jetzt auf Englisch rüber. Hello, Doris. That is an honor to me having you in this podcast today. So how's life in Singapore?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that the honor is mine. Thank you so much for making time to do this for Como Hotels and Resorts. So Singapore is now very wet. We just had monsoon for 4 days, so we have like flash floods and all that. So yes, it's quite wet, but bring down the temperature to about only 22 degrees, so it's very comfortable.
Oh, that sounds comfortable. Are you affected by these floodings or?
No, it's
No.
it's just at certain areas, but so far it has been very well managed. So yeah, we're lucky.
Okay. Yeah, Doris, see, this is a year starting very badly in some parts of the world, meaning Los Angeles fires, and now you're
Yes.
talking about floods, and we have the Trump story coming up, and and all these crises and all these very situations which we didn't expect. So there's a current saying in the market which is called the post-future hangover. So we expected a very bright future 25 years back when we talked about the Cold War is over and the new techniques are making life easier, and social media is connecting everybody with anybody in the world, and you mean. What I'm saying is that we are a bit disappointed by the future now, because it turns out that it comes a different way. Let's say that, and we see a very big trend in the travel tourism, especially in the luxury tourism, towards experiences. So actually, we are looking for having once in a lifetime experiences, and we are expecting more than a standard holiday, but spending time together with our loved ones and having these very special moments in these surrounding of crisis. Is that what you see from your point of view as well?
Yes, indeed. In fact, I think, that is what we learned, one good thing from the pandemic, right? Because it has really taught us that life should be about creating memorable moments and the people that you share these moments with. So which is why, we at Como offer iconic experiences that are unique to the destination, and we curate these Como journeys to enrich the guest experience and giving them the opportunity to learn, to engage with nature and people. Because really that, I think, it's accessible luxury, because many people associate luxury with how much is worth, but at the end of the day, I think it has to be about you being able to afford that time and being able to really set up to do something unusual, and then there is always a limit, right, as to how long you can do something or how long you can embrace a moment. However, I think that there is no limit to the times that you can enjoy and bring back that memory, and I think that's very precious. Yeah,
that reminds me on this MasterCard brand campaign, the priceless campaign. So the worthiest things in life are priceless or intangible, and you do it right from the beginning. So Como was founded back in 1991 by
Yes, thank you. Yes.
by Christina Ong. Can you just explain the brand a bit?
Okay. You see, Como really is about empowering people to live fuller lives through lifestyle experiences. So be it in travel, fashion retail, food and culinary pursuits, wellness and fitness, and hospitality is just one of the 4 pillars, within the
Yeah.
Como group. In fact, many people don't know, but Christina Ong was really the woman who brought Italian fashion to Asia. So she was the very first who brought Giorgio Armani, the Miu Miu, and all these beautiful brands. DKNY was her creation, actually. It was Donna Karan, and then she gave the idea of so is Emporium Armani. It was really her idea, and she has been housing that for 54 years. And in fact, I think the Italian tourism has given her an award for, promoting Italian fashion in such a big way the world over. So, yes, so she has always, been very attuned to what she wants to bring, to the market. And when she started her hotel, so the first hotel is the Howkin in London. So Como was actually first established in London, which is at that time part of the whole European market, right? So then it was followed by Como Metropolitan London. And then Como destinations are now in Tuscany, Dolomites, Montrachet in Burgundy, Turks and Caicos in Caribbean, the Maldives, where we have 2 beautiful islands, and then 2 lovely lodges in Bhutan, and then Phuket, Bangkok, Singapore, and then 3 beautiful resorts in Bali, where one is really the flagship wellness sanctuary, and then we have Perth and Fiji. So altogether, 18 properties around the world. Yeah.
So it's all around the world now. Yeah. So from Club 21, which was built in the 70s, back in the 70s. Interesting what you're saying. So it's a fashion website nowadays in Asia, as well as you're having stores in Singapore, Malaysia, I guess.
Yes.
Branded
Thailand.
boutiques in Thailand, yeah.
Yes.
Branded boutiques and multi-branded stores, and then you found the new Como Orchid in Singapore 2 years ago, which is kind of a destination property, combining all the things the group is doing. So, for example, it features the Code Korean Steakhouse, which is some say one of the best, or it's the best steakhouse worldwide. And you have a cooperation with Cédric Rollet, which is one of the best pâtissiers coming from Paris and doing he's building these fruits, the sweet fruits, and so he's how do you say, he's doing apples and peaches and
miniature creations.
Yeah. So I had it at the Berkeley last year when I visited London. So this is fancy. So it's the best of the best gastronomy and chefs you feature at the Como Orchid, as well as all the wellness offerings.
Yes, which is Como Shambhala. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which is Como Shambhala. Then you introduced the new cooking book by Melissa Ong.
No, by Mrs. Christina Ong, actually.
Christina Ong, sorry.
Yeah, it was the art of, she first introduced, her first book was The Art of Eating Well.
Yeah.
And that was 5 years ago. And some people say, oh, it's such a encyclopedia of knowledge, about how to, about wellness and food. But it was a little bit complicated. So she listened and she said, okay, so now she just actually published a book just about 6 months ago, and it's called Como Simple.
Okay.
Yeah, and we actually launched it. We had a book launch, and we brought our chefs down. We did it in Munich for the press.
Oh, in Munich. Oh,
yes.
I missed it. Why
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just about a month ago. We were in Munich launching that. Yeah. And actually, it was very funny. Her first book was launched in London and New York. And her second book, so I chose London, of course, because we were born in London before. And then the second destination, I chose Munich. And she was very surprised. She said, why Munich? And I said that because Germany is such an important market for Como, and we have so many good people, good friends, especially in the Munich. I said, I've got the best agency. So I said, so how well? I said, you want to do something, do it with friends and people who believe in you. And we had such an amazing, amazing launch. Yes. So thank you. Thank you to all
Well,
my
thank you
German friends
coming
and
to
my German
Germany.
media.
Yeah.
Yes.
But actually you're coming nearer and nearer. So you open up the Dolomites, the Burgundy. You have two properties in the Tuscany. So we're just waiting coming with a property to Germany, maybe
Oh,
one day. Um,
hopefully.
okay, so we find the cuisine, the food and beverage as one of the main focuses. Then we have the wellness, and then the activities, or meaning the experiences. So we have 45 iconic experience within these 18 hotels, starting from holistic wellness, cooking classes, as well as nighttime dives, or spending in Como Malifushi. You can spend a night on a bed out on a private island, an inhabited island, or you can have the butter light lamp lighting in the Bhutan, which keeps away the darkness and blesses you with wisdom and light and all these. So it's a big variety of experiences. And I guess it was when Melissa stepped into the company, she was in charge of bringing all these experiences and is that right?
Yes, actually, Melissa is quite amazing because I mean, she really brought. You see, the Ong family actually they are very very amazing family. So they are very real, very down to earth, and they constantly wanted to share what they feel. That it's most enjoyable and not easily gotten. So they use their network and their contacts, to help build these experiences for us. So Melissa herself is very well connected, especially with the sporting world, because she's very sporting. So she brought us, like recently we just hosted a one of the top Olympic skiers in the Como Alpina Dolomites to bring guests on on skiing expeditions. So there you go, right? But of course, for that, it is for intermediate skiers only. So we bring in all these things that you can't get unless you know the people. She also brought us two amazing boxing champs from the
Yeah.
UK to do a boxing boot camps in Bali for us. So things like that, and these gentlemen, all these people, they're very passionate, so they are not commercialized, and a lot of them, they brought with them what they have, like I remember the boxing guys brought us these very special gloves, to share with our guests and things. So it is really wonderful. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is that we brought in something for families. Of course, earlier on, I talked about all those experiences because it involves a third party. There is a charge on top. But Como also do a lot of experiences that we wanted the guests to share because they are there at the right place at the right time, and it's free. And one of it is really our astronaut camps in Maldives. I think you heard of my space camps, right?
Yeah, the space camps, of course, I heard. Yeah,
That is so amazing.
you've
Yeah,
been
that's
doing
so
this
amazing.
for years now.
Yeah, for 3 years. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
did it actually is pro bono. The astronauts gave their time to us pro bono. So as such, we said that we want to do it pro bono as well. And the idea was born of the fact that we feel that children today, I mean, they are so cooped up in classrooms. And I think if we can give them an opportunity to dream and to know that everything is possible. So how come why astronauts was because we um, sponsored an event in the London Space Science Museum, and we sponsored the stay for 11 astronauts when they were there to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Apollo 16. So we have 11 astronauts. A lot of them happen to be women. It was really interesting. And so after that, they ask us, what can we do for you? And I'm just thinking, if we can bring this experience with an astronaut to learn for the children, it will be so amazing. Why? Because the child will always remember that I was with my parents, at that time, and I met an astronaut. We don't even get the chance to meet a pilot, often enough, but here you get to meet an astronaut.
Yeah.
And the lady that we collaborated with, two of them actually, Christina Kopp, she's the founder of Space for a Better World. And that's an amazing story about her. There was a story featured that we made possible that say from rock stars to rock star, because she used to be a rock star. It was quite interesting. and then together with her other partner is this astronaut called Nicole Stolt. And Nicole is amazing. If you Google her, she was an aquanaut as well as an astronaut, and she has spent more than 100 days in space station. Right. And she was so amazing because she herself also have a benefit called this art for space that she do with children. And so she came to our retreats. They planned a 10-day retreat. So any of the families, when they are there at the Como Malefushi Maldives for that period, they are invited. They can come and join in the classes. And it was so fun. So that 10 days, she even brought space food to show the kids and to also remind us how lucky we are here on Earth, that we have all this and we don't have to be away from your families, up in the space, and looking back at this jewel of a planet, Earth. And she told us, she said, that's why we learned that we have to protect this planet that's ours. It is so beautiful and so unique, shining out there in that darkness of space, and it's just so inspiring. And so she taught the children how to fly rockets, through, simple science experiences and all that. And not only that, we also invite a local school, the children to come and, join in the activity. And I think that is the most touching moment of all, because these children, they were so impressed. In fact, right now, 3 years running, now we have schools writing to us to ask us, please, let us be the school that's selected to come, So yes, we're very proud of it. We're very proud, and we're very humbled that we have friends, in the space community now to help us do all these things and bring all these wonderful experiences to our guests and their children and their families. And I tell you, from there, I remembered someone asked me, what kind of experience are you getting from here, from the guests? I have beautiful stories, letters, that really touched you because they wrote about how they feel, having had that experience, and they thank us profusely that we made it happen for them. So frankly,
Yeah.
I think we are more than a hotel. I don't want people to think of us as a hotel, because when you think about a product like this, you are always comparing. There will always be a better bed somewhere. There will always be a better room somewhere. But what we want to do is to create the place for you where you can come and give a little of your time to discover, to explore, and to bring home that thing that money can't buy. So that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I can listen for hours. So I see your eyes shining, and how you talk about these experiences. And I was just about saying, so this is not what you expect from a hotel product in the luxury segment. It's so different. And so this is just, you talked about space and the beauty of these planets. It's just a very small step to your newest or to your latest journey, which goes to the Arctic. How come? Yeah,
That was
from
really
Singapore to Arctic.
That was why we actually had we met this wonderful man called Will Bolsova from Natural World Safaris. I mean, he came to Singapore for a talk because he was invited over, and he is actually a much lauded explorer and adventurer. So he runs these trips, and he showed us beautiful photographs. He was telling us what he did. And then we said that we can do that too because of our guests. I mean, we're constantly thinking about what can we do for our guests, to sort of, bring the adventure closer, right? And then we said that, yeah, we're a hotel, but But with what we learned and with our talents, we can bring it anywhere. And that was how the idea came about. And so we decided that why don't we charter one of the ships from him and let's commodize it, So we were brainstorming, and so we said, okay, we're going to, because you see, now this is something which, when we first launched it, a lot of people were very excited, and I must thank again my German travel agents. A lot of you were very excited coming to us to ask, wanting pictures and all that, and then we said no, stop, because the idea is to sell the adventure. Is that it's the dream of an adventure. Now, when you start showing pictures, then your guest is going to start comparing to a silver sea cruise or whatever. It's not a cruise, it's an expedition. And expedition ships are, rough and tumble. They are expedition ships. They are ice cutters, So we found the most luxurious ship there is, which is not luxurious at all. I can tell you, honestly, not. When you want to compare to luxury cruising, right? Because when you talk about luxury, it is so big now. And honestly, we are so lucky today because we have, all these wonderful companies coming up with all these amazing luxury, money come by kind of cruising experience. So that's why we thought that let's bring on a real life adventure. I mean, we want it to be like what National Geographics would do, with their scientists and their explorers. So we chartered the ship, which used to be the Norwegian weather ship. And weather ships are meant to be very sturdy and that they would not rock too much, so you won't have seasick. And so we chartered this ship, which they just had a refurbishment last year, and they say, oh, it is the most luxurious. So when we sent my VP culinary, which is one of our best chefs there, he almost had a heart attack. So we said that, but don't measure it by the luxury standards that you see, but let's look at what we can do for our guests to make it again one of its kind. So,
but Doris, if you talk about guests, it's just 8 cabins on board, isn't it?
Yes, it's only for 12 people.
It's a very small.
It's very small.
Yeah.
It's very small and it's very expensive because can you imagine you charter a ship?
Yeah.
So the cost was prohibitive. That's why, to be honest, it's a fun deal for us. We do it just for the adventure and to also bring something special to the guests so that they get to know Como, and hopefully then they'll come and try our destinations and try other experiences. So it's also saying that a brand can be anywhere as long as we're true to our belief. So how we have done with this 8 cabins, it is only for 12 people because that's how many people they allow, by license. Okay.
Yeah.
So how we commodize it is that we are going to put on a spa therapist, on board. We're turning an area into spa so that we can offer, the Como Shambhala experience and treatments when the sea is calm. So it is included in the entire cruising experience.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you're going around Svalbard, Spitzbergen.
Yes.
So you fly in Longyearbyen and then you go after one night of getting together and learn to each other. Then you step on board and then you go around Spitzbergen and see maybe polar bears and
walruses, maybe the snowscapes, and whatever. We don't know. There's no itinerary. That's the thing. There's no itinerary.
Yeah, it's depending on the weather and what you see. No, it's a great. I know the area. I know the destination. It's a fantastic. It's an amazing idea, honestly. And I was so surprised, like everybody. But what I like is the what you say. You commoditize the product. This is fantastic. So you can step on in every topic worldwide and commoditize it, and even if it's a safari, maybe coming up the next years or whatever.
That's what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do.
Is it the plan? Yeah, for the future.
That's the plan. Yes.
Yeah, commoditizing the world. So
no.
No, but what are the next plans? Was it safari? Was it
Actually, there are so many things we really want to do. One of it is to also, again, support our space community. We want to bring on zero gravity flights that you can fly with an astronaut.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
Have you heard of that? Have you heard
yeah,
of
yeah,
that?
yes. So you go on a plane, and then it
It
goes on
goes
a circle.
parabolic, and it goes
Yeah,
parabolic where
parabolic.
then,
Yeah,
yeah, so there is no gravity, and
yeah,
then you fly.
for
And
a
we
few
make sure
minutes.
that
Yeah.
everybody got your own space suit to keep with Como in it. Yeah, and of
Yeah,
course we're trying to, of course, that is still in the making, but we're trying to hopefully link it to nearer to one of our destinations so that of course the guests can get a landed experience as well.
yeah, yeah. How
Yeah.
cool is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, right? Yeah, because
Good.
I mean, right now people are all talking about, going to space and a space journey, and it's like $250,000 just to,
Mm.
go up there, to look at the Earth and come down again. So we said, how about let's start it sort of simpler, and it's the price of a long distance business class ticket. Let's do that. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's maybe more riskless than going to space. No,
Yeah,
no
I think
idea.
so.
Yeah. But so yeah, if you dive deeper into this topic, we can see that you're giving your clients or your guests very special moments, and that is the strategy of Como Hotels, not being one of the luxury hotels you can find elsewhere, and you can compare, but you try to be, or you are being different, and your main focus is maybe delivering once in a lifetime experiences. Is
Yeah,
that
and of
right?
course, yeah, and of
Yeah.
course, besides that, also, I mean, on property, I mean, we're very lucky because our owners, 90% of our properties are owner managed. So we own all the properties. So like for instance, in Tuscany, we own this huge estate, right? That is part of Como Castello di Nero. And we actually then we farm. We have our own sunflower oil now. We have our own olive oil. We have our own wine producing facility and vineyards, and we even get our guests to participate in the winemaking, where you can
Yeah.
step on grapes and things like that. That is a dying tradition, but really
Mm.
it's all about learning, embracing, and having a good time. I think
Yeah.
that's really what we want in all holidays and all times, and when we have holidays, that's what we want, right? So
Yeah.
we were trying to bring that back, that feeling. And we also want people to know that, there's so many things that they can do y- rather than just to, um, how should I say, be prohibited. I mean, sometimes in life we're a little bit prohibited. We look at time cost and dollar cost, but I think sometimes, it's to me it's about making time for ourselves. Yeah, and that's why I'm really enjoying myself here because I've got a fantastic board and ownership and a team, amazing team that supports us in this. In fact, in Germany, we've got Katrin Bauer, and she's amazing. She's
Yeah.
a
Catherine
wonderful
Bauer.
colleague
Yeah.
of mine. Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful colleague of mine, and she has been, in fact, also instrumental, in driving a lot of the activities. I could do so much more in Germany and in Munich because of her. Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel this Como spirit because you're still a family-owned company, and yes, so this is completely different from a shareholder company.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
I
because
can
I
hear
would
it in
never be
every
able to
word
do
you're
this sort of
saying.
stuff. I would never be able to do this sort of stuff and take out 250,000 to go and charter a ship.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
fantastic. So
Yeah.
so um so we have to end this very interesting podcast, I have to admit. But so I think we can expect a lot of more fancy ideas coming from Como, coming from your side. We are very thrilled about this. And yeah, so one last question, Doris. What is your favorite destination, your favorite product, or your favorite experience within the Como family?
That's the hardest question. You can ask
Yeah,
all of us. That's the hardest question because life is made out of many facets, right? So you have different moments, different experiences in so many other resorts. Like for instance, one of the very first experience that I have witnessed in Como myself was immersing in a water purification ceremony in the sacred
Bali.
springs, of Como Shambhala Estate. That was
Yeah.
really touching. It is so emotional. And we had a priest, and I remembered going through that with two other agents that I invited. And I was going through that. And when I finished, when I got up, the priest came to me and he said, "Ma'am, I hear you," he said. He said, "I hear you. I could feel your gratefulness." I was so surprised because it was true. I was there, while I was doing that. I was just giving thanks. I said, how amazing, to be able to enjoy this and do this. And I can't wait to bring this to my guests. It's so touching because that actually is a sacred springs that for centuries have been the place where the local people go and pray and take the water for all their ceremonies in the temple. And Como actually owned the estate, but we leave it open for the villagers to continue their practice. So that means it is not enacted. We don't do things that are, you put on an act for people, but you are part of it. And I think that is amazing. And I think it's a privilege that we can, enjoy that. And like the other thing also was like to be partaking, and witnessing the monks in a butter lamp lighting ceremony, and seeing them giving their blessing. Again, it is very, very how shall I say? It's words can't describe the feeling you get. It's that tranquility and calm that you feel, and they are doing it because for love of service, and they really want to impart that to you. It is not a 15-minute thing. It's an hour, and it's so ritualistic and beautiful. And I know of many people who did that and they cried because they were just so touched by it. I took two Asians with me again, on that trip. And these are really luxury Asians, have been all around the world, been to the Arctic and what have you. And when we were at the airport about to leave, one of them cried because she said, "I'm just so touched by the people here and by the spirit of it, because it's a small little country. They don't have a lot of things, but the people were so giving, and you hear their stories." So for me, really, Bhutan is about hearing the stories of Bhutanese and seeing, it's just so amazing. And I love what they're doing, and I think we should support them. Yes, why is that it's so expensive to go to Bhutan? Because they impose this tax, but it is also to help the people. And the king, it's so, so nice. Como has a very close relationship with the king. And recently in Singapore, we staged a taste of Bhutan at the Como Metropolitan Singapore. And we had our chef, who we called the royal chef, because she always goes up to the palace to prepare meals for the king. And do you know what? His Majesty flew down to Singapore and stayed with us to support her. How amazing is that? Yeah. So I'm telling you all this it's real stories, it's real, and I'm so proud. That, it's, you don't hear this from companies or a brand, and I'm just very proud that, I have the chance to be in a company like this and to do all these things, for all of you.
That is more than luxury hotel business. That is life business. It's so interesting listening to you. Wow! Please come back to Germany and please invite me to one of your appointments. So interesting, amazing. So I was listening, very, very thrilled. That was an amazing podcast, Doris, and I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of news stories from your side. Maybe within these years, but we keep an eye on it. And I wish you a very fantastic 2025.
Thank you so much. And I thank you, everyone, for giving me time to listen to me talk. I'm sorry, sometimes I might have digressed, but it is so wonderful to have this opportunity. And thank you, Germany. Thank you for believing in Como and giving us all these wonderful years of patronage and support. Thank you so much.